Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Live, Let, Thrive. This is episode 261 of your favorite short-term, long-term, medium-term podcast in the world, coming at you from Fort Worth, Texas. Micah couldn't join us today, but we're going to have a great show because we have a special guest, Mrs. Ashley Ching. I already messed up. Mrs. Ashley Ching is joining us today. And who's Ashley, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Ashley is the founder and CEO of Inhaven, a professional home furnishings and consumables procurement, say that 5 times real fast, solution for the vacation rental industry, saving property managers and hosts significant time and money. I like those things. Ashley has spent her career sourcing products, leading operations, and establishing brand standards for Fortune 500 companies. Prior to founding Inhaven, she was a chief merchandising officer at the company store, a Home Depot company, and head of global merchandising operations at Tiffany and Company. Wow. She lives in New York with her husband and 4 young children and a dog named Chase. Welcome to the show, Ashley.
Thanks, Stephen. So nice to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for that long introduction.
I didn't think it was so long when I glanced at it, but you have some big words in there, and that kind of tied me up a little. But we powered through like we do on this show. So how did you get started in the whole short-term rental industry? I know we'll go back to where you started in these big companies, but what drew you to the short-term rental industry?
Sure. I am an avid guest. I have 4 really young kids, as you mentioned. So my oldest is 9, my youngest is 2. And when we travel, we no longer stay in vacation rentals. We no longer stay in hotels, I should say. We only stay in vacation rentals. We need a kitchen. We need multiple bedrooms. And so, I've become very familiar with sites like Airbnb and VRBO and booking.com to book vacation rentals when we travel. And we will book what we think is the perfect location. Pictures look amazing, but more often than not, we show up to terrible sheets, missing pots and pans. And, as you mentioned, I've been in procurement, merchandising, sourcing for basically my entire career. And so I'm naturally curious, for these vacation rental owners and property managers, how do you procure for these homes? Why is it so difficult? And so I spoke to dozens and dozens of them, and overwhelmingly, their response was, it's a nightmare. There's no standards. I have no idea what I'm buying. I am not a home furnishing, especially hospitality grade home furnishing expert. And so this really piqued my interest, given my background with the Home Depot, given my extensive career in e-commerce. I thought, well, I can do something about this, and I want to make their lives easier. I want to create simple procurement solutions for them, and also improve that guest experience. So whether you're staying in a beach rental in Maine to a Colorado Rocky excursion, that as a guest you're going to show up to a great sleep experience, fully stocked kitchen, fully stocked bathroom.
No.
So that's how it all started.
That is cool. That's a lot to unpack there. I want to go ahead because I ask dumb questions on the show because that's what I do. But the word procurement, please explain what that means.
It's really just, how do you buy?
Okay.
How do you shop? How do you find things? Yep, it's a great
it's a fancy word.
I didn't know much about it, before I got into the industry or into the, whole sourcing procurement world. So, and, it's funny, this industry is, some people will say, oh, it's such a cottage industry, but it's actually a massive industry, $160 billion industry worldwide. And, it's amazing to me how people still source things from Walmart, Amazon. And I think about other large industries like restaurant industries, or, they don't go to, when they run out of hamburger buns, to the nearest Kroger or Albertsons. They have professional procurement solutions, and that is what Inhaven is. It's a professional procurement solution with a curated assortment of hospitality grade goods. So you don't need to question whether you're buying something that's going to withstand the wear and tear of your guests, but also give your guests a great experience.
When you mentioned hotels, so they have a great procurement process, I reckon, if I could
Yep,
say that.
they do.
And here's the thing. And when my family started growing, same thing. Just we could Airbnbs or short-term rentals or VRBOs, whatever, because we have a big family and they need a lot of space and we need a kitchen because feeding them is expensive. So anything that could
Sure.
help, right? And amenities are great too. So hotel cram us all in a hotel room, that wasn't an option anymore. But every now and then, like me and the wife will go somewhere and we'll stay at a hotel room. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is okay. The bed is like perfectly made and crisp, and the sheets are nice, and everything is just. I was like, why can't the short term rental industry? Why can't Airbnbs be like this? That's what I've always wondered. It would be awesome to have that, but I guess that's what you're providing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of vacation rentals, being very unique. I don't want to ever turn the vacation rental industry into the hotel industry, right? You can travel to a Hyatt hotel in Tokyo, Japan, or Cincinnati, Ohio, and you basically get the same room, right?
Yeah.
It all feels the same, which is not the way that I like to travel. But what I do want to provide is that consistent experience of when you arrive in this, amazing vacation rental experience, whether it, looks like a cabin or a beach house, whatever the vibe is that host is making through their expression of what that local feel should look like, the bed should feel great, the kitchen supplies should be fully stocked, and the bathroom should be fully stocked as well. And those are just utilitarian, and that's where I'm looking to provide more consistency to really improve the foundation of those stays.
Nice. And something that automatically jumps out, and I don't mean to bring up a competitor if it is a competitor, but I know I've heard of Host GPO.
Sure.
And their thing is they provide quality products that are affordable to short-term rental hosts or whatever. Is that kind of like similar to what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, we have a very different experience. So it's all curated on our site. So you don't have to go to off the site to search for items. So everything's been curated, and we've taken at time savings, giving you back the time of searching through what's going to work on all these other manufacturer sites. The other thing that makes us different is that we're going direct to the manufacturer. So those people that produce the sheets and the towels for West Elm, you'll find on Inhaven, we're going direct to the manufacturer. So really cutting out that retailer cost, and you're getting significant savings by doing that. And then, we are, and I can't speak for Host GPO or any of the other people, but we are a team of merchants. Our team has over 100 years of sourcing experience. So we really know what goes into the quality of those sheets, the quality of the amenities, the kitchenware. And so we're using our expertise to then curate that assortment for hospitality use in the site. So really, it's a trusted place where you're going to find products. You don't need to go on Amazon or Wayfair and do the search and filter, and you still get 50,000 results, and you're reading through all the reviews, which is so time consuming. We really are serving up those best products for your rentals. And we do encourage everyone to shop our checklists, which is organized by good, better, best pricing, what we call budget, basic, mid, and luxe. And so regardless of your budget, you can find something that's affordable and makes sense for the type of property and type of experience that you want to offer your guests.
I love checklists. And here's the thing, because so with our business, we manage over 60 properties at the moment, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
And we have some of our own mixed in there. It's a mix. But I've been trying to automate things in a way as far as onboarding a new client, right? That we're going to manage for. And one thing, I was sitting down, racking my brain. I thought, this would be easy. I just make a little checklist of everything an Airbnb needs or a short-term rental needs. It took me like three days, right? And not like I'm doing it like 24 hours a day, but every time I'd sit down, I'm like, oh, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. So I love the fact that you go to your site and you have a checklist of everything that you're going to need.
Yeah, and what we'll do is for larger clients like you, we'll create a page specifically for you. So if you're a property manager, and let's say that you have a mix of you're purchasing for your homeowners, and in some cases the homeowners may want to purchase products for themselves, you can point them to a specific page that has been built for your properties that meet your standards, and it gives your own homeowners also a jumping off point to say, okay, this is what Steven expects in his homes to maintain his brand standards. So we work really closely with our enterprise level accounts to really improve the purchasing experience, not only for themselves, but for their owners as well.
Nice. I need to get with you after the show. I don't want to turn this into,
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to turn it into an infomercial too much, but just trying to get the information on your company because it sounds pretty interesting. And it's just so what all do y'all do? I mean, you don't do furniture, right? Or do y'all do furniture?
We do. We have furniture, we have home decor, we have outdoor, but we are obsessed with the bed, the bath, and the kitchen, and the cleaning supplies. So really creating the foundations to stay. And that's really where our expertise lies. You know, again, as I mentioned earlier, we want the homes to feel unique. We don't want to standardize the furnishings, the home decor, but we do feel there is a need to really standardize that sleep experience, the bath and the kitchen. And so that's where we've really put a lot of our time and effort. And that's where many of our supplier relationships are with those types of suppliers as well.
Okay.
So
and now the ultimate question.
Yep.
Mini soaps or no mini soaps? Or mini shampoos?
Well, we have both, but we do see more and more hosts and property managers moving towards refillables. So we have a lot of great refillable solutions where you can do wall-mounted dispensers that you don't even have to drill in. You can use liquid nails to apply them on the wall, and then they can easily be refillable. So we do see more and more people doing this. California and a couple of other states have banned those small travel size.
Oh.
They've banned them from short-term rental use. So more and more we see people going to the refillable options, and guests are getting more and more used to it because they're going to hotels as well. And most of the hotels I've stayed in the last year have gone to the dispenser systems in the showers just because of some of the regulations that are taking place in various states. So
yeah, I always thought those little things were cool, but then you're like day 2, you're like, oh my god, how much should I put? Because I don't want to run out.
Well, it's funny because with vacation rentals it's longer stays, and even we have the 12-ounce bottles on our site, and those only last about 8 to 10 days depending on the number of people using them. So yeah, those small bottles really only last a day or two before they're out, but it is a nice starter kit if you want your guests to then go out and buy their own amenities. Yeah.
That what's his name? John Galifianakis, the comedian.
Yes, yeah.
You seen his show Between Two Ferns?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm looking at you right now. You got these two funky looking lamps. So
I know.
You should make a show called Between Two Lamps. That would be your show. Yeah, I need to look at YouTube and watch what I'm talking about, y'all.
I know exactly. Yeah.
I've never seen lamps like that. Are those from your
site? Those are not from my site, but yes. I'll tell you after the show some other analogies people have made with these lamps
I could imagine.
that are not appropriate for this podcast.
So yeah, well, you don't know the podcast. It might be very appropriate for our crazy off the wall. We haven't dropped any F-bombs yet, but yeah, it's still young. It's still early. So what exactly did you do for the Home Depot when you were there?
Sure. So they have a bunch of private label brands, and one of them is the company store, which sells, sheets, towels, home decor as well. And I ran merchandising there. So I was responsible for sourcing all of the products at the company store. I also ran the e-commerce site as well. So that was a really cool experience. And a lot of the suppliers that we have today came from some of my relationships there. And fortunately, I worked at the Home Depot pre-COVID and was able to travel and see their, manufacturing facilities in India and China and just, far away places that obviously we haven't been able to get to. I guess now people are opening up a little bit more, but so we have an amazing supplier base. And some of that's from my days at the Home Depot.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they have some good stuff there,
Great. It's a great company.
Yeah, I like them better than Lowe's for some reason, but we always go to the Home Depot for everything we need, and sometimes you go there multiple times a day if you're trying to fix something.
It's amazing how many stores and how many people shop at the Home Depot. I think most of the U.S. population shops at least a couple times a year. Yeah, they have an incredible consumer.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so like, why are sheets and towels and stuff like that so important? And what kind of quality do you really need in your short-term rental?
Well, they're very important. And actually, sadly, I have a really good friend who celebrated her 50th birthday over the weekend. And she called me this morning. She was in the Poconos, and she had planned this trip for months and saved up a lot of money. had her whole family to the Poconos. So her parents, aunts and uncles, kids, they all did a weekend there. And she said, Ashley, it sucked.
Oh no.
The home was beautiful. The beds were so bad. We didn't sleep a wink. And so that is, and I look at pictures on the VRBO listing, and it's a beautiful home, right? But you can't judge a book by its cover. This home has really crappy, sleep experiences, and they've gotten somewhat good reviews, right? I think some people are scared to speak up just given the way the review system works. But that is why, it's really important to care about the foundations of the stay, because it can make or break a guest experience. And now when she thinks back to her 50th birthday, she's going to think back to the shitty, night experience. Sorry for swearing.
No,
sleep experience, but and not think about her 50th birthday. And when she called today, we all have stories like that, right? And this is why I started Inhaven. This is why we exist. So it's super important. And there are great sheets and towels and amenities at every single price point. And there are hospitality grade versions where you have the special hem stitch, thread that help with the housekeeping teams and the turns to make it go faster, because they know that the green hem stitch sheet goes to the queen bed versus the pink to the king. There's just a lot of things that a lot of products that we have that help with those turns and help with the overall guest experience. So I think that the sleeping, eating, and bathing is the most, those foundations need to be in place before guests can enjoy all the gathering experiences and everything else that you work so hard to, make your home unique and special.
That is true. Speaking of the type of bed, I mean, what do you suggest? Because I guess at our places, our friend Sarah, Sarah Glidewell from the Car World, shout out to Sarah. She got us started in this whole designing Airbnbs for us and getting everything for us. She was great, she was doing it. Now she's, doing bigger things, but she told us to use these medium firm memory foam beds and like the Zenith green tea, whatever they're called. But
yep,
they seem pretty good. I don't know. We don't get a lot of complaints. Sometimes, but not mostly. So we don't put pillow tops. We use those. Are those pretty good?
Yeah. They're great. And I think it's, a lot of questions I get are like all foam versus hybrid, where you have some coils built into those bed in the box. So it's really a preference. Sleeping is so subjective, but those brands that you mentioned create awesome mattresses. And I think it's important that you sleep in your own homes, your rentals as well, and experience it as a guest. With pillows, I always recommend that you put 2 sets of pillows on every bed. So let's say you have a queen size bed, you have 2 queen medium firmness pillows and then 2 firm. So you're really giving your guests, the type of sleep experience that they're looking for. And you see a lot of hotels doing that as well, where they have the different options for the guests, since it is so subjective.
Pillows are crucial. Yeah,
yep.
Big time. I didn't think about that. So you do 2 medium firm ones and 2.
And then 2 firm.
But never soft. You never do soft.
No. Even the medium can like really, be quite soft for some people.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like something as small as a pillow can really make a huge difference.
Yeah, right.
I never even thought of that.
And you can advertise it, like, personalize your sleep experience with different pillow options. I think it can go in your listing. It could go in a little note next to the bedside table, so it's those little, they're really thoughtful. And I think guests really appreciate, that type of thoughtfulness in the home.
Yeah, because if you have the wrong pillow, you wake up with a crick in your neck. Right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And obviously, and I say it on the show all the time, hell no to canopy beds, because I don't know if you've ever used them on your site or at any of the places, but yeah, people are on vacation. Those things get to moving and all the screws start getting loose. It's just a nightmare. Yeah, so no canopy beds. We don't do that anymore.
I love it.
What other like I guess small things I was seeing, smaller, minor at a short-term rental make like a huge difference?
Yeah, I think chargers throughout the properties make a huge difference. So chargers, we sell lamps with charging stations built into the lamp, the USB. Same within the kitchen. So I just think those make a huge difference. Makeup towels, I think are very thoughtful from a guest and a host perspective. They really help do preserve your towels, but I think the guests appreciate them as well, or makeup wipe. And then I just think, making sure that your kitchen is stocked well for a stay. So let's say you have your house is listed for 4, again, it really services 4 guests, then you should have 8 of everything, just double everything so that they're not doing dishes all day long. So, things like that just make for a great stay.
I bring it up on the show sometimes, but we like to go to South Padre Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of our favorite spots, here in Texas. And I grew up, my family from South Texas and all that. So anyways, but to see the transition from how old school rentals used to be, as in condos on the beach or whatever, where they didn't supply a damn thing, you're lucky if you got a coffee maker, but if you did, there sure as hell weren't going to be no filters. There wasn't going to be any coffee for you. You might get one roll of toilet paper, or just to start off, if that. They might tell you, hey, go buy your toilet paper, go buy your paper towels. I mean, you didn't have nothing. And so it's funny, it took it a while for those old school ones, and probably there's still some holdouts that aren't providing anything. But I remember getting used to the Airbnb experience when people started to provide you with things, and this is really cool. And then going to written at a really nice place in Padre, and they're still doing it the old school way, where I wake up in the morning, there's no filters, there's nothing I could eat. Nothing worse than waking up all groggy and not being able to make a cup of coffee.
It is the worst. I think coffee is critical. Thanks for bringing that up. I agree. I think that I tell some of my clients, think about going to the Motel 8, like just basic, hotels, right? Or hotels. They have a coffee maker. They probably have a Keurig or some version of a Keurig, little K-Suite. They've got shampoo, they have conditioner, they've got towels and sheets on the bed. You're not like renting sheets to go there. So we need to at least be providing what the most basic hotels provide guests. And then I'm really trying to elevate. I want to elevate everyone away from microfiber sheets. I don't know why so many people still use microfiber sheets. It bothers me so much. They're just, they do not breathe well. And they do not lead to a good guest experience. And you can get a great cotton poly blend sheet for the same price that you're probably buying those microfiber sheets for, and they'll last a lot longer.
What are those called? What are they called?
They're cotton poly, so they're cotton polyester blends. So usually they're 60% cotton, 40% polyester. So they provide the durability that polyester does, and they provide the wrinkle resistance. But at least you've got the breathability of the cotton, right? So that your guests don't just sweat all night long. I was just staying in a rental in DC. It was a gorgeous rental, and they're a big rental company. I keep meaning to write them, but the sheets had polyester. They were microfiber sheets. And literally my whole family, my parents were there too. They were like, we just sweat all night long because they just don't breathe. So I'm trying to really, and then going back to the Motel 8 experience, right? Those motels don't provide they have a cotton poly blend, right? So I don't know why, we do microfiber in this industry, but
wow,
trying to get people to at least consider a blend.
That is great advice. That is great advice. I'm gonna save this, of course. Well, save every episode, but I'm gonna send this clips from this episode to my potential clients. This is gonna be easy for me.
Yes.
You're gonna help me land clients. Thank you so much, Ashley, for that.
Yeah.
So okay. What about comforters? What do you do with the comforters, or do you do quilts? Or what's your suggestion?
So we do both. We do comforters, and you have the duvet covers. We like the duvet covers because you can throw those in the wash. You don't have to wash the comforters every single time. And then we've got great quilts that are machine washable, quick dry. So it really depends. I think the comforters do not quite nice in colder locations where you just need that extra warmth, versus a lot of our southern locations, beach locations use the quilts. But with the quilts, I think everyone, one thing I see a lot is a lot of colored quilts, and I think everyone should move to white bedding. I think it's a much cleaner look. It speaks to the cleanliness when the guests are staying there. I think they get a little worried when they see colored towels, just in terms of the cleanliness. So, I think there is an importance to moving to all white, and you can bleach everything.
Yeah, bleach the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you should say about the colors. So at this place we went to, and the last trip we did was Puerto Vallarta,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say it's beautiful, but don't go in the summer. It's like 1,000,000 degrees and humid. It's pretty brutal. But when it's the high season, I mean, it's good. I guess October through April, whatever. Anyways, enough about that. They had a black toilet, and
Oh,
that just
wow.
yeah, that's just the weirdest thing ever. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that because you can't, just like you said with the white sheets or when you put black sheets on a bed, you're like, wait a minute, let me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Right.
you do want to yeah, hotels. I mean, they do that. They do white sheets. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
white everything, right? And I
Yep.
thought there was a movement going away from that. We've had guests on the show that say no, don't do colors and don't do white
Right.
anymore. But I guess you're the expert.
Inhaven's coming back with the all white recommendation. It really, they've done a ton of guest surveys on color versus white, and consistently guests they just associate white bedding, white towels with cleanliness, and color can weird people out at times. So, I think it's most important to listen to the guests and what they want, and white wins every time.
Or maybe like a light beige.
Yeah, any light colors. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't need to be, white. But yeah, light tan or beige.
What are some things? Okay, let's get to towels before I get there. What kind of towels are good to have at your units?
Yeah, so again, it's white. We do a lot of towels in bulk that have some polyester blend to it, just for the durability perspective, but most of them are cotton, mostly cotton. Some are like 90% cotton, 10% poly. But again, I think it's sticking to all white. It's finding the hospitality grade ones that have special stitching, double stitching, that just make it they just won't fray, like those towels that you find, in Target or Walmart. So I think it's just sticking to the hospitality grade, where the construction can withstand the wear and tear of the commercial laundry machines.
That makes sense. We helped set up a place this is a long time ago, for a friend and in Houston, and we have a friend in Houston that helped actually set it up and stock it and all that. And and my friend Marty, shout out to Marty. Well, she bought high quality towels, right? The thing is, I guess straight from the rack, set up the Airbnb, and I guess the first wash, they got all, as stuff started coming off of them or something. Are you supposed to wash them before you set them up for an Airbnb, or you can put brand new ones up?
So only if they've said that they've been pre-washed should you put them out. But I definitely would wash them, because I know where they're coming from, these factories, and they need a wash. They've been handled, and been folded by sometimes humans, and they've been in, a plastic bag. So definitely I would recommend wash stuff that shouldn't be coming off. That's scary. And I guess the only thing I would say, though, to my white rule is a black makeup towel is key. With your towels, if you make the investment in white towels, black makeup towels will help protect them. And the black makeup towels that we sell are bleach resistant, so you don't have to worry about bleaching them. They won't fade. The color won't fade. So yeah, we really think that to improve the durability, definitely add a black makeup towel to your mix.
Is it damn near impossible to get makeup out of a white towel?
No, I mean, you can use bleach. It just depends on what kind of, and sometimes it's the and I'm sorry, I'm not like a facialist, but whatever's in their face cream or whatnot, the chemicals will sometimes can ruin white towels and towels in general.
I know the word because because my wife's an esthetician, so
Oh, yeah.
I know a big word.
Oh, we should get your wife down here
Yeah.
to talk about what she recommends. She would be the expert.
She would be, yeah, she would steal the show for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, so cool. What are some items like in that really people spend a lot of money on, really don't make a flip a difference in a short-term rental?
I think decor. Like, I think that you
Really?
can really, I think with like artwork and whatnot, you can have great artwork that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. Some of our vendors, our manufacturers will offer artwork where just some of the, like it will look like it's a painting, but just some of it's painted, that helps save costs. I think like mirrors and all that kind of stuff, you can find great mirrors for very affordable prices. So I think a lot of the decor you can really not spend there. And then I think in the kitchenware, there's areas where you might want to spend more, like the pots and pans, so they withstand that wear and tear, and you limit all the scratches and whatnot. But then there's things like whisks and different kitchenware items where you can find really affordable products that just don't break the bank. So I definitely, there's areas, and we spell that out in our checklists. But definitely decor, I would not spend a ton of money on. And I think furniture too. I mean, you can find great coffee tables, great sofas, and they don't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars. What have you found to be the best areas?
To be the most useless thing to put in?
Yes, yeah. The best areas where you can cut costs.
Like you mentioned decor, and yeah, you could put some cool artwork for pretty cheap. I will say this, that if you put it like a really nice piece, it could really tie the room together,
For sure, yeah.
And there's this, like, the place we stayed in Puerto. It was a big 2-bedroom, really nice place on the beach. But there was, I remember scrolling through the listing, and I was just mesmerized by this one painting of a lady, just like a native looking lady with this flowing dress thing, and they had this just basic colors behind her. But I was just like, wow, it looks so cool. And when I got there, I was just like appreciating the art so much,
Yeah.
And so what's crazy, because yeah, you can go really, really cheap with it and be okay. But then again, you don't want every one of your Airbnbs to look like a Wayfair ad. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. There's some really great, like we have vendors like Wendover Art and Left Bank, where you can find amazing pieces, right? But they do not break the bank. They're stunning. They're showstoppers, but it's not, thousands and thousands of dollars to get that look. So I don't suggest like going to IKEA and getting all your artwork. There's some great vendors out there where you can find really affordable art that will make a difference, and really pulling the place together.
Yeah, because I'm a bit of an artist. I used to do like art shows and stuff like that, so I
Very
really
cool.
appreciated good art.
Yeah.
So I would go to places like what's it called, Hobby Lobby or stuff
Yeah.
like that to get my supplies.
Yeah.
Then I'd go over to where they have the furniture art. I called it furniture art, and they'd have the Roman column thing. Everybody had that in their freaking house at one point, and just like stuff that mass produced. It really didn't say nothing. Now, like you said, you can get a nice piece of art, and you don't have to put it in every single room, but just like one showpiece, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go and do what you do in the other rooms.
Yep. And it sounds like at your rental, that piece was a very local piece, right? And so supporting the local, market with buying from a local artist, I think is an incredible, and we talk a lot about creating more sustainable rentals, and that goes beyond just buying sustainable products. It's, buying from the locals and creating more sustainable community around you. So artwork is a great way to do that.
And I did that, at the beginning of it's so funny. I mean, it's with anything, because when I started doing Airbnbs, I started with the house I lived in. We moved out and bought another house. So let's turn it into an Airbnb, see what happens. And I started working with a local artist, and he started hanging his pieces up at my house,
Very cool.
And this is the beginning. This is the beginning days of Airbnb, and not super beginning, but it's 6 or 7 years ago. And he actually sold a few pieces there at my house, so he was happy.
Very cool.
I was happy because I got like real artist artwork on the wall,
right?
Not a mass produced thing, a real pieces of art. And then the guests loved it also. And so I need to go back to that. I just once the business started growing, you don't have time to do things like that. But those little touches, they go a long way.
Totally. That's awesome.
And so what you said, you mentioned furniture. They do sell furniture on your site.
Yep.
And so no futons, right?
You you can do futons. It's a great way to add another quote unquote bed. No, I mean we have pull-out couches, that turn into sofa beds, coffee tables. We've got a lot of great outdoor. We do it all, but I think we're very focused on sort of creating a more standard experience around, the high touch things like the bed, the bath, and the kitchen. So you can outfit your entire rental on Inhaven. But we also want to keep, the rentals feeling unique and not standard in that respect.
Yeah. I used to, like I said early on, that was what we put the mid-century modern futon was always in there, right?
Yeah.
And they don't last very long, the Wayfair ones, unfortunately, because people don't know how to put them, and they're
right.
Things start falling off of them. So I really enjoy a nice sofa when I'm like, just because you're gonna spend a lot of time on the sofa, right?
Yeah.
On vacation, whatever. So
totally.
a nice,
yeah.
Pay a little bit more money for a decent sofa. Don't get
I agree.
$199 special at Wayfair. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's the worst when you sit on those like hard sofas and the depth isn't right and the arms just hurt like sitting there, Yeah.
And
so I definitely agree. The comfort.
And like you said,
important.
it's important to stay at your own places, because once
Exactly.
I started going and touring these, and I started doing being there for a day, doing minor maintenance or whatever I was doing, I'd sit down on the futon and be like, oh my God, I'm putting my guests on this thing. Oh my, I felt bad about it. I felt bad about it, but
yeah, going back to that rental I just was in 2 weekends ago in DC, there was in all the bedrooms, there was like no dresser, right? They had the closets, but like there was nowhere to like set things down, even in the bathroom. So like everything was just on the floor if it wasn't hung up in the closet. So it was just, and I think if that owner or that manager would have stayed there, they would have recognized that they needed more just places to put things for guests to set them down. So I think it's really important to stay in your listings.
Dresser is super important. I do use them, especially you're traveling with 4 kids, you got to put all their stuff somewhere, right?
Right. Yeah, just to like put the diapers somewhere, or like, I guess those can go on the floor, but there's other things I just wanted to be able to put on a table.
Right. And like, you like the, what are they called, luggage rack thing? The
luggage racks. Yep.
Okay. One thing I want to mention, and I don't know if you have these on your site, but here's the thing. I'll go into the history of this, right? So back in the day, people you put china cabinets, really fancy china cabinets in their houses, right? And they put the dishes that you never supposed to use in there, or whatever they put in there, right? And anyways, long story short, when I got my first house and my mom was downsizing to something like an apartment or whatever, she's like, she had 2 of these things, and she's like, well, I don't want to throw them away. They're really worth a lot of money. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the china cabinet? I don't our generation never really, did the china cabinet thing. And so, of course, I made it to a liquor cabinet for me, whatever. But when I went and I, after I moved out of that house, I kind of got rid of them. And then it's like, man, our generation don't use that. But when I went to bring a Puerto Vallarta up again, they had a nice, it didn't look like the grandma's china cabinet. It's just a nice cabinet, glass,
right.
Doors. And they had all the plates, and all the cups and all the coffee cups and the wine glass, had it all right there. And I was like, holy crap, we could really use these at a short-term rental, because instead of putting it in the cabinets,
right,
where the cleaners aren't going to really, look too often or clean often enough, or find things. It might be some missing plates. It might be, you have it all right there in one spot. I was like, man, this would be perfect for short-term rentals.
It's great extra storage, especially for people, that have space constraints. I totally agree.
I'm bringing the china cabinet back to our generation.
I think you should. There's a company that we've been working with that has, I guess they find really cool local antiques, and then they mix that with, a mixture of stuff they find on Inhaven or other sites. So, but it really brings some uniqueness, and they have like a story. Each rental has a story to tell. So yeah, I think it's a great. China cabinets are, can seem old and dodgy, but yeah, if you find the right one, I think it's just a cool piece to have in your rental, and it adds for extra storage.
It's a cool piece, adds extra storage, and you keep everything in one spot where it's easy to inventory. Send me a snapshot of that. It's done. Don't have to go open all the cabinets, look for different things and this and that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Bringing it back.
I love it.
You mentioned traveling with 4 kids. Now, when I started, when people started saying, "Oh, we're going to turn these beach houses into Airbnbs," so families, travel to the beach, travel wherever, and they have little kids. And what I noticed, the people that weren't very good at designing a place didn't even think about the kids. They had little knickknacks all over the place that my little, 2-year-old, 3-year-old would love to go grab and go break or
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
Like, why are you putting these things, And so I'd have to gather up all that crap and put it above the fridge or something where they couldn't get to it. But they think they're doing,
Yep.
oh, this is pretty decor. But no, 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 no. How do you talk towards that?
Yeah, I mean, I think showing up at a place that has a high chair, that has a pack and play or crib or some way where you can put where we don't have to carry all that stuff with us. Even, that has some toys like Legos or something larger that they can play with, is a huge win. And I really love, my 2-year-old now is fine on stairs, but when she was younger, showing up at places that had the gates in front of the stairs, just we would have to typically stack like a bunch of chairs in front of, the stairwell to keep her from going down there. But, it just creates for a stress-free vacation. And I think it's really thoughtful, and it goes to really improving that guest experience and getting that 5-star review.
Yeah, you got to look at it from all angles, right? Especially
Yep.
at the parent angle. So I'm glad hosts are finally waking up to that. Get rid of those little knickknacks you put everywhere. And glass coffee tables that have the sharp edges. Yeah, don't.
Oh my gosh. I know. We've stayed in some rentals like that, and just like you just see the ER. You're like, how long is it going to take for them to crack their head open on that?
Man,
Awful. Yeah.
they used to make these houses out of glass. Everything. I remember the coffee. Even the dining tables were all glass back in the day, right?
Right. Right. Yep.
Now I just
Yeah.
cringe at that.
I know. Me too. We were actually just in a rental in Toronto as well a few weeks or maybe a month ago, and it was all glass. And to your point, it was like, this is awful for kids. And I should have paid more attention to the pictures when we were booking, but we had a very specific spot we had to be at, and yeah, so we just booked very quickly.
It's awful for kids, but it's. I mean, even for the host, it's a liability. They could really
Total
get.
liability. Yeah.
Yeah, if a kid gets hurt at the place, oh my
Oh my
gosh,
gosh. Yeah.
you're gonna get their asses sued.
Yep.
So so this is your business. You created this business?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And when did you create it?
So we launched officially last September. So it's almost been a year. But it took over a year to build.
Mm-hmm.
Because the back end, we have all the API connections to our suppliers. So we have, inventory. We're getting inventory feeds in some cases every 20 minutes. We're able to send orders directly to them to create a really seamless guest or customer experience on the site. So yes, it took a long time with all the API feeds that we built into the site. So it's a really sophisticated back end, which really leads to a great guest or customer experience on the front end.
Okay. So running a business is pretty easy, right?
It's very easy. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
It's simple, right? It's simple.
Yeah, the to-do list is not long. And
this is the first business you ran?
First business on my own that I've run on my own. When we haven't really talked about this, but I was with Tiffany and Company for many, many years. And I went out to Asia, to Hong Kong, lived there for 5 years with them and ran Asia merchandising. And being in that office, we were a team of 12 and we were running over a $2 billion business. So, it was really entrepreneurial. And the corporate headquarters had given us a lot of leeway to make decisions for that business over there. And then the company store with the Home Depot, I mean, when I joined there, it was a 50-person team and basically backed financially by the Home Depot. So it was super entrepreneurial as well. So I've always had this entrepreneurial bug in me. But yeah, so this is the first one I've run. And, I think we're really here. Inhaven is here for small businesses, right? We're creating simple solutions that will help these small business owners save a lot of time. Which is their most valuable resource. And I think, you and I both being small business owners, or maybe you're much larger than me, you understand how many things you have to deal with on a daily basis. And when I think about like a property manager or host, and I think, okay, they're doing revenue management, they're doing, guest communications, maintenance, all this stuff. The last thing they should be doing is like, the Amazon search for, X item and trying to read through all the reviews and stuff. So we're just really developing a lot of solutions for them that just help them save significant time and money at the end of the day, because it's all
Yeah,
wholesale.
that's awesome. And it's so, man, it takes, like you said, you try to make things easy for them, and that's what I was trying to do by making this checklist, plus making this list of let's just say the devices, smart devices you got to order.
Sure.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like you mentioned Amazon. I said, so I took it a step further, and I provided links, with every single product that I was suggesting to them, what I'm saying. And so like, I want to make this is easy for them to digest and to get started, because that's the thing when we do get a client and they say, okay, what's next? That's a big question, right? And so I'm trying to put everything, consolidate everything in one spot, kind of like you're doing, like you did, and just make it easy for them to go open this. I send them a welcome email, and it has all the everything checklist, videos, and it has PDFs to download, all, making it easy for them as possible, because a lot of these people is their first Airbnb, and they don't know what they don't know, and we've made every mistake along the way. But just the act of creating a process and a system is so tedious, right? Because as soon as you start it, you're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, but it'll save you so much time in the future.
Yeah. And now you have to maintain it, right? And so, yeah, you need to move everything over to Inhaven. We'll maintain it all for you. And
Nice.
and yeah, get you some hospitality grade stuff that you just don't find on Amazon.
Sounds like you're gonna be a sponsor on our show.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Host CPO keeps calling. I don't know. Highest bidder.
You'll have to try both.
Yeah. He came on our show a long time ago. The host CPO guy. I forgot his name, but many
Jeff,
episodes ago. Yeah.
yeah.
He's Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. Some his last name is unique. I don't know. Anyways, Jeff. Yeah. What's up, Jeff? Real quick, go back to, you worked for Tiffany and Co. And it's so funny. It's so funny. I would say most people aren't most of the naked eye couldn't tell a stone from another stone or whatever. But that's not what Tiffany's selling. They're selling the box. They're selling the experience. They're selling the name, right? And that's so cool, because you want to, you talked about brand, forming a brand in your bio, right? And so talk to me about the power of a strong brand.
Yeah. So when I was at Tiffany, I was responsible for the brand presentation in the stores. So creating a consistent experience. So whether a customer's in Xi'an, China, or Sydney, Australia, right? What are they walking into? What's the feel? What's the, how's the store laid out and all that kind of stuff. So that was my responsibility, of kind of standardizing that experience to make sure that no matter where you are as a customer, you're having a great experience. And that's what Tiffany does so well, is they have really, just made for an incredible guest experience and a very welcoming guest experience, no matter where you are. And that has really, that was very inspirational as I was creating Inhaven, and sort of saying, look, vacation rentals, it's a great, amazing industry, but we need a more consistent experience. We want people to feel really proud about booking these stays, right? And knowing what they're walking into, and similar to a hotel, but obviously with the look and feel of a vacation rental. So, being able to roll out brand standards for Tiffany and Company was, instrumental in me thinking about, how do I roll out these checklists and these sort of standards for brands for the vacation rental industry, and how do I communicate them? So I'm definitely, not selling jewelry, not selling diamonds, but, I'm taking a lot of that experience with me to create Inhaven.
I love that. I mean, yeah, as soon as you hear the word Tiffany, you're like, oh, you think of that little box, and you think of the stores and everything.
The stores, and it's all, and when you talk to the sales professionals or in the stores, are incredible. And it's just the experience from the moment you get welcomed into the store, and the stories that they tell you. I mean, there's just great storytelling, and I think that there's so much we can take from a great brand like Tiffany and apply them to the great brands of the vacation rental space as well.
Yeah, because you can buy a diamond ring anywhere, but a Tiffany diamond ring,
right?
That's
it's like,
different.
As a host, how do you make your guests feel? As a property manager, how do you make your guests feel? And how do you just create a great experience for them? and we want to be a part of that. So.
And you don't feel that at Walmart when you're buying a diamond ring there.
No. And you know what? You don't. No, you don't. You know what? And I hope you do get on Inhaven and shop, because I think you'll feel the experience. You'll get so much better customer service and experience and consulting than you would in any sort of online retail space. And, that's why our customers keep coming back day after day to us, is they just really appreciate the service we're providing, the level of expertise that we provide. And we just want, we're in the hospitality business, and we want to provide a great experience to our customers as they want to provide great experiences to their guests.
Now, if I call the number, y'all's phone number, is a real human answer?
There's a real human behind it. Yep. Email anyone. Yep. You'll get real humans.
Oh,
yes.
cool.
And that order's late, or you need to know logistics, you'll get a human behind that. So, we are in this with you, and we want to deliver. So
now speaking of late, are there still like hiccups in the whole shipping process that was caused by, COVID and all that?
It's getting much better. The supply chain's really improved significantly. Furniture, there's still issues there, but for the most part, everyone's back to pre-COVID days. We're hoping UPS doesn't strike
Oh, I heard about that.
a week. That would really suck. So yes, as long as there's a deal there. It's actually the CEO's next Home Depot person. So hoping she's able to strike a deal with the Teamsters Union. But yeah, that could really mess things up, not, across the board. But other than that, things are pretty much back to normal. And we're constantly just in touch with our manufacturers. That's what, these relationships are so important, to be in touch with them, to know when things are moving out of stock, what our alternative suggestions are, that we're constantly working on that on a daily basis on our site to make sure that, the checklists are all, have inventory and are ready to ship.
Sweet. Could I put a whole, let's say a whole Airbnb together just from your site?
Yeah. And we've done a lot of whole homes just from our site. So yeah. And go ahead.
Airbnb in a box kind of thing.
Airbnb in a box. Yep. You can do it. Yeah, it's been really fun doing whole homes with some of our customers.
So you work with them to design everything?
Yeah. So we work with them. We'll, we don't have an in-house design team, but we work with designers to design the properties. Some of them are easy where you don't need necessarily a designer, but we do have design partners, interior designers that we work with as well to help lay out the whole home.
Does that cost extra if I say, hey, I want y'all to help me design this?
Nope.
Really?
Not extra. Yep.
Holy crap, that's a game changer.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I stumbled on a game changer there, because I'm going to use y'all for real.
Great. I really hope so. And we've got an awesome design team that we work with. So
sweet. So let's just say 1 bedroom, 500 square foot place. How much would, if I did everything from your site, help me design it and furnish it fully, all the towels, all the sheets, everything. How much you think y'all could do one of those for?
I mean, definitely under 10,000.
Nice.
Probably. I mean, we talk a lot about this with customers. A kitchen is a kitchen, whether it's a 5,000 square foot place or a 500, right? You got to outfit the kitchen. But yeah, we've been able to do, I think we just did a home that was about 2,500 square feet for about $11,000.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Well, it's furniture, everything.
Furniture. We don't count electronics in there, like TVs and whatnot, but most of the home was done with us. Okay. Yeah.
$11,000 for a 2,500 square foot house.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna get a bunch of phone calls now, I guarantee you, because I probably spent more than that, filling a place with Walmart stuff. So
yep.
so that is cool. That is cool. Yeah, I'm going straight to the site as soon as we
please do.
Get off this pesky call.
Yeah.
Cool. What are some, okay, real quick before we get off this, what are some Ashley design hacks that really hacks, I don't know, hacks, tips, whatever, but you gave a few already, but some really cool tips that will really make your place stand out and not break the bank?
Yeah. So definitely fully stocked kitchen, I think, is important, and it won't break the bank if you're buying the right stuff. And I
Now,
think it makes for a great.
by fully stocked, what all goes into a fully stocked kitchen?
So, your cookware, your bakeware, your kitchen utensils, dinnerware, wine glasses, drinking glasses, all that kind of stuff. So you can get that whole list on inhaven.com. And we have great products that won't break the bank at all. But we'll make for, you just want to make sure your guests can cook a meal. And that's why I started in Haven, is literally I would drop off my stuff and there would not be a pan to make breakfast the next morning. So, just making sure that the kitchen's fully stocked. I think a great sleep experience will go a very far way. Having the right pillows, having the right mattress makes for a great experience. And then of course, cleanliness. Like, no one wants to see spider webs and and cockroaches in your place. So, I do think sleep and eating is really important.
Very, very good. So the kitchen, a lot of us neglect the kitchen. Get that cheap, set at Walmart, just to have that has every all in one box for like $50. But I think yeah. Okay, real quick. What about so do you need a blender? Do you need a waffle maker? Do you need what?
Not a waffle maker, but definitely a blender, a toaster, a coffee maker. Those are really important.
Like a toaster you put on top, or like a toaster oven?
We sell a lot of we sell both, but just the toaster, 2-slice toaster oven that you put on top is sufficient.
Kettle, electric
tea kettle, yes, that is a must.
I like
I know. Yep.
As you can
see.
Something
that can really heat up the water very quickly is very important. So electric tea kettle, that's one of our best sellers in the kitchen.
I'll tell you a funny story. Going way back to this, way back 15 years or so ago. I was going to England, and when I first saw these, I don't know what it was. They're like, oh, hold on, I'll put on some tea, and the plastic thing, and they put it on the thing and pushed the button down, and like a few seconds later, it was boiled water. Like, what the hell is that? We were still. It took us a while. They weren't even they weren't anywhere here. I mean, I guess you had to special order them back then. But then now they're everywhere. Now they're like a thing. I was like,
right.
They're so crazy about tea over there that they had to have something like that, And then finally we got it. But we had the old school one you set on a stove or something, and it's whistle pepper, which I wouldn't recommend those. I like the electric ones. What about a rice maker? Is that
no, but I mean, those are definitely, it's not on our you must have list, but we do sell a bunch of rice cookers. I think, just people are coming more and more international. One of the things that I think will come back is Chinese tourism and more Asian tourism that sort of left with COVID. And I think that things like rice cookers will become, more and more important. I'm married to an Asian male, and I think we have rice every day in our house. So, I think it's really important to accommodate for different types of diets.
Oh, nice. Good point.
And I would say that coffee maker should be automatic shutoff. You don't want to deal with any fires. I was just on the phone with Keurig today, or one of our distributors, and we talked about we're bringing on their hospitality grade coffee machines, their brewers, and one of the big differences between what you can buy at Walmart versus the hospitality section is the automatic shutoff. And they've had a lot of hotels switch to their hospitality grade machines because they've had fires with guests forgetting to turn off the coffee machine. So it's really important. Have you had Justin Ford from Breezeway on yet to talk all safety?
I'll say I haven't had him on yet, but my partner in the business, Federico, he got Breezeway certified.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, great.
So he knows.
Yeah, so you guys can talk through safety stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought of it earlier when we were talking about leaving pack and plays and stuff for kids. And and apparently to the Breezeway folks, that's very dangerous because previous guests could have broken the pack and play.
Oh,
and then the next
just
parents
do the crib.
Can go in there and, it could get hurt, and then it could be. There were so many things. I'm like, what? You got to leave them something, But
I know.
No, have them rent them or have them blah blah blah. Like, oh crap. Anyway, so you learn something new every day.
Totally, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, even high chairs can be dangerous. Everything's dangerous.
Yeah, everything can be dangerous. I know. Everything's a liability at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, that's for real. Yeah, have some good insurance.
Yes.
Well, this has been a great show. I thank you so much for hopping on. And I'm still, it's magical to me to bring one of these Airbnbs to life and to see one done well and to see it, with the high end, nice quality stuff. It just makes you feel good. It makes your stay. And it sucks, like you mentioned, your friend, her 50th and having such a bad experience, and it just it sticks with you. And I had a kind of a bad experience, on a recent vacation, and I'm like, I didn't come back refreshed. I come back icky, you know what I'm saying? And you want a vacation to refresh you, and feel good, and then come back, and then you can go back to the 40-hour grind for most people, right?
Exactly.
Or if you're an entrepreneur, you only have to work 100 hours a week. So it's
right. What time is it right now for us?
Yeah, it's time to get back to work.
Yeah, exactly. At 8:30 at night.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on there. You gonna make like a special Live Let Thrive link or something?
Why don't we do that? We'll make a special link, and actually, if you want to use Thrive as a promo code at checkout, you can save $50 off your first order.
Nice. That's awesome. So I can order a $50 coffee maker and I get it for free.
You'll have to pay shipping, unfortunately. But yes.
$19.99 shipping.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Cool. You hear that, folks? Go to her site, Inhaven.com.
Yep. And sign up. Then you can use the promo code Thrive at checkout and get $50 off your first purchase. And you can find us at Inhaven Stay on Instagram and Facebook. Inhaven, our handle on LinkedIn is just Inhaven. And you can always reach out to me, Ashley, at inhaven.com, if you'd like to discuss what we do and how we can, help you save lots of time and money.
Cool. I have that all in the show notes for them.
Cool.
And thank you for hopping on. I'm going straight to the website. Right? I'm not even lying just for the show, So I do that sometimes. Sorry, guys. But I'm going straight to Inhaven. I'm gonna look what you got. I got a few Airbnbs in the works. So everybody loves one-stop shopping.
Yep.
We're humans are pretty lazy. So if you want one place, we're happy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you. Thanks, Stephen.
Take care, and we will talk to you again soon.
All right. Take care. Have a nice night.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.